Hello, everyone. Semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Normally, I'm outside walking around, but it's 43 degrees and raining outside right now. So I just thought a quick little sit-down video would just have to do for today. I got a couple little topics to talk about here. But the primary thing that we're going to talk about, I get a lot of questions about it, and I've never really had a good answer for it. And that's how do I convince my spouse, parents, friends, whoever, how do I convince someone to change their diet? And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. But first, let me say, like I said, welcome to the channel for all the new people. If you are returning, I'm very happy you're here as well. As you can see, the studio is progressing. I still have some things to do. I may slide the Steelers over that way a little bit and put a light on that edge of that thing you see hanging back there is my old circa 1970 Rush sign. I may slide the Steelers logo over there and put one light back there and light up the Rush sign in the background. We'll see. I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do, but for now, this is this is where I'm at. You can see the lights kind of shining off my glasses again because I got some more lights in and I have another one here in my face. People were saying that they didn't think I needed more lights, but let me show you the difference here. If I shut this one off, it's still very good with just the two side lights, but I think that looks quite a bit better with a light right in my face plus the two coming in from the sides. I could turn the intensity up on the ones coming through from the side, and that might get rid of the reflection you see in my glasses, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. For those of you returning to the channel, again, welcome. I'm very glad everybody's here. It's amazing that so many people want to watch my videos. But anyway, let's get right into that. That's enough rambling on. This is supposed to be a short video. How do we convince our loved ones, our friends, whoever, to basically change their life? Well, we can't. I had never really had a good answer for this. Hang on just a second. I need a little sip of coffee. That's an Ohio State mug, by the way. Yes, indeed. I'd never really had a good answer for this, and I was watching Joe and Rachel over on Two Crazy Ketos the other day, and she said something. I don't remember who she said. It might have been Nurse Cindy that said it to her, but I want to try to give credit where credit's due. I know I heard it from Rachel on Two Crazy Ketos, and she said the best thing to do is to just keep living your life and let them see your progress. And the thing she said that I jotted down so I wouldn't forget it was to be the lighthouse, not the foghorn. And that made a lot of sense to me. If you're constantly preaching at your friends or family members, loved ones, whoever, oh, you don't want to eat that, or you got to eat this, or you got to do this, you got to do that. People don't like that. So the best way to go about doing this is to just keep getting better yourself and let people see the progress that you are making and let that be their example. There will come a time, especially those you're closest to, the people that you see either every day or a couple of times a week or even a couple of times a month, as you see them, they're eventually going to say, okay, I've seen what you've done over the last 6 months, a year, year and a half, however long it's been. I've seen this. I've seen it firsthand. What do? I want what you have. That's when you have the chance to talk to them about things. And that's, that's really all it is. All you can do is just keep living your life, getting better. And, I hear all the time on this channel that you want to, that I inspire you. I'm just being an example. That's all I'm doing. I had somebody leaving a comment that they're turning their life around thanks to me, and I tell them the exact same thing that Dr. Barry told me 6 months ago. He said, I just gave you the map. You did all the work. This is all you. And I want to say the same thing to each and every one of you. If you're turning your life around, it's all you. But a couple other things that I've seen on the internet and people are talking about, and it just drives me bonkers. I'm not Professor K. I don't have a strong science background. I don't go after debunking videos, and I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But a couple of things that caused me to question and made me do a little more research and look into stuff. There seems to be a lot of people out there talking about microbiome and microbiome diversity. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's all the bacteria that live in our guts that help digest and process our foods. There's a lot of talk about good bacteria and bad bacteria. I don't believe there is such a thing. The bacteria that you have in your gut, if you're feeding it the foods that it likes, those bacteria will stay strong and healthy. The bacteria that want things that you aren't eating will grow weak and die. Now, let's just use Brussels sprouts. Let's say that there's a certain bacteria that's really good at digesting Brussels sprouts and helps you get the maximum nutrition, no matter how bad it might actually be, from that Brussels sprout. Well, if you're not going to eat Brussels sprouts, do you really care if that bacteria gets sick and dies? I know I certainly don't. I want the bacteria that's going to help me digest the meats that I have and use all of that. If, I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, because I don't eat this and I don't eat that, I hate when I lean forward a little bit and the focus shifts back there. But I'm going to work on that eventually here too. But it won't do that if I take my glasses off because I've got my camera set on eye focus. But I see better with my glasses on. So we'll see. Still a work in progress. But anyway, I see a lot of people talking about, well, I don't eat this and I don't eat that. So I need to take, I take probiotics on a regular basis to make sure that I have the proper amount of gut microbiome, of gut microbiome diversity. Well, you're wasting your money, in my opinion. Because you may be taking a probiotic that's loaded with a whole bunch of different bacteria. But if you're not eating the foods that will feed them, they're going to get sick and die again. So don't waste your money on that kind of stuff, folks. Because if you really believe that you're supposed to have all the different kinds of bacteria in your gut because you're going to eat all the kinds of food, and you want to keep dumping probiotics down your neck that you're spending an awful lot of money on, I don't think it's harmful, really, but it's not really going to do any good either, because if you're not going to, feed them, why have them? And then I had one more quick thing I want to talk about, and it's just a question because I've seen a lot of talk about cholesterol. Several people have put their numbers out there recently, and I will, next time I get my numbers done, my lab work done, I will probably put one of those videos out as well, because everybody's always curious. And that's one of the things I don't understand. Everyone always wants to know, what about your LDL? What about this? What about that? My first question to anybody, because as long as you're happy with your numbers, I don't really care what your numbers are. The first question I have for anybody on this way of life or any diet or any exercise program is, how do you feel? That's really the number one question. Now, yes, we can feel great and be on the verge of having something horrific happen to us. So it is still a good idea to go to your doctor once a year or so, or once every 6 months, and get those labs done, because you can't always feel things that are starting to go wrong, and it gives you a little advanced warning, and you can do all the things with the stuff, so to speak. But that's never my first question. I meet so many people that they ask, "Oh, what'd you do? How'd you lose all that weight? What have you been doing?" And when I tell them, why is it the very first question out of their mouth is, "Well, how's your cholesterol?" Do you really care how my cholesterol is? If I feel better, I can do things that I've never been able to do before. And I've said this before in a video, and I'll say it again. If I knew I was going to die next week, I still wouldn't change a thing, because I feel so much better than I ever have in my entire life. I will take one more week of fantastic life over another 2 or 3 or 4 or however many years of being the way I was before. And I've never really talked about this a whole lot before. I've mentioned it a little bit, but never really talked about it. I did talk about it in the live stream yesterday. Somebody asked me about my attitudes and things like that, if I think anything has changed. And I really thought about it before I answered them. And the one thing that I have noticed has changed, that I didn't realize it at the time, but from the day I got out of the hospital from my heart surgery 5.5 years ago until I was about a month into this carnivore journey, every morning I woke up, I was surprised that I was still alive. I really thought I was going to be dead, that the next morning I just wouldn't wake up. And now I'm making long-term plans, things that I want to do this month, things I want to do next month, things I want to do in 2025. I'm making long-term plans. So that's how I really think my mental health and attitude have changed quite a bit in the last year. But the question I came up with that I think is something we all need to think about: if lowering cholesterol is so good for the population at large, why do heart disease bad outcomes keep rising? And I mean, there is no scientific data, there's no direct, evidence, there's no studies. I mean, there are some studies, but nothing that can prove cause and effect. But if you look at the associative data at when we started trying to lower cholesterol via statins and the steady rise of heart disease, you'll find that the graphs look very similar. It's one of those things that make you go, okay. Yeah, again, it's not proof. There's no cause and effect. You can't show cause and effect from associative things and that kind of stuff. But I found it very interesting. Now, a couple of quick notes. This is kind of an uncomfortable subject for me because I don't want to make it seem like I'm begging for stuff, because I'm not. I've had a lot of comments and a lot of emails about, Bob, we had your address down in North Carolina to send you stuff at Christmas. We don't have your address here. Well, because this is my permanent address, I'm not going to put that out there on the internet. But I did go down and get a post office box. Well, it's not a post office box, it's a postal zone thing. And somewhere up in here, right about here in this video, I'm going to go ahead and put my address up there. So, and again, I'm not begging for stuff. I don't expect stuff. But if you're one of those people that has made a comment or sent an email saying, what's your address? That's where you can send stuff. Again, I'm not expecting everyone that's watching this at this point to rush right out and send me something, because that's not what this is all about. But I realize as a YouTube influencer, there are going to be a small percentage of people that want to send stuff to me, and they need a place to send it. And I do also have a published Amazon wish list. All that's down in the description. That's all I'm going to say about that. Again, I'm not e-begging. I'm not asking for a bunch of stuff. But if you're one of those small percentage of people that do want to donate to the channel in some way, all that information is down in the description. I probably put the address down there as well. But thanks for watching today. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, say hi to me down in the comments, because all that stuff, I mean, I can go through and look at the analytics, and I can see a huge difference. The number of views that my videos get, which means the spread of my videos, there's a very direct correlation between how many comments I get and how far the video spreads. So please, even if it's just hi Bob, please, please, please leave a comment down below. But anyway, that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this quick little talking about various things video. This was really an excuse for me to check out my new lights and show you the difference that it makes. Like I said, they're not all in yet, and I have much more to come. But this is what I've got for my studio for today. Leave me a comment what you think about that. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.